Sidekick Media Services. We are your sidekick in business for social media, video production, and more. Find out more at sidekickmediaservices.com.
I'm your pal in the mainstream media.
And I'm your Riz.
And you know, Riz, it takes years of strenuous, dedicated training before you're worthy to step inside a professional wrestling ring. But it takes even more time to develop complex, highly astute opinions about professional wrestling. Am I right?
That is correct. You know where we can find that?
Yes.
In the Wrestling Ham.
That's right.
Sidekick Media Services. We are your sidekick in business for social media, video production, and more. Find out more at sidekickmediaservices.com.
Hello, friends. I'm your pal in the mainstream media.
And I'm your Riz.
And you know, Riz, it takes years of strenuous, dedicated training before you're worthy to step inside a professional wrestling ring. But it takes even more time to develop complex, highly astute opinions about professional wrestling. Am I right?
That is correct. You know where we can find that?
Yes.
In the Wrestling Ham.
That's right.
Sidekick Media Services. We are your sidekick in business for social media, video production, and more. Find out more at sidekickmediaservices.com.
Hello, friends. I'm your pal in the mainstream media.
And I'm your Riz.
And you know, Riz, it takes years of strenuous, dedicated training before you're worthy to step inside a professional wrestling ring. But it takes even more time to develop complex, highly astute opinions about professional wrestling. Am I right?
That is correct. You know where we can find that?
Yes.
In the Wrestling Ham.
That's right.
show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com. This show is brought to you by Slice on Broadway, supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza. Production services by Sidekick Media Services. And listeners like you, supporting us at patreon.com/awesomecast. It's time to get geeky, get awesome. It is the AwesomeCast. I am Mike Sorg at Sorgatron on all the social medias. Just logged back into Blue Sky today, actually. Here in the Sorgatron Media Studios in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania on this sunny day. Sunny? I don't know. It's bright out there. Maybe there'll be clouds. I don't know. This is not the Weather Channel. It's damn AwesomeCast, where we talk technology and stuff. And we talk about awesome things of the week. And we have some awesome people with us to talk about that. First of all, back on the line from Studio C in the Big D of Dormont, PA, from Big Bank International Esquire. I blanked. It's been so long. The Chiller is with us.
How's it going?
Hey, oh man, I completely froze. I was deer in the headlights. Oh no. It's good to have you back, sir.
From that place that does things.
Yes, I felt so bad because you're like, I'm completely available 2 weeks ago. I'm like, nobody is. I'm at Dollywood today. But no, I appreciate you being back here. Good to catch up. And by the way, I keep forgetting about it till exactly this moment. I'm pretty sure this is the anniversary week of AwesomeCast, starting in 2010.
Oh.
So this is I think that makes us 14. We're almost to our quinceanera. Another 2 years, if I got my math right. So, or is that 15 for them? I think quinceanera is 15, isn't it? So, you know what? I should just ask somebody outside. Anyways. Chill, it's been good. Where have you been? Where have you been all our Tuesdays?
Last week I was in New York.
Okay.
The week before that I was available and no one else was.
Yes.
The week before that, wasn't I on?
Maybe, I don't know.
I was on.
But also with us, he's been filling in a good bit. Thank you so much for your contributions. Dave Podner of the iPhoneography podcast is with us.
No, thanks for having me on again. Always glad to be here. Always glad to be here.
Wacky Dave. Wacky Dave. So, and also want to throw out to everybody who celebrates Happy Pride Month, because Dave's hat has reminded me. There you go. Humankind be both. I appreciate that. Awesome. I've been enjoying, I'm never here this week in June. I have not been for, aside from COVID, the last 5 years. I've never experienced the first week of Pittsburgh in June in this decade. Went to Three Rivers Arts Festival on Saturday. So I got to experience both the juxtaposition of people downtown for both the Pride Festival, the Arts Festival, and the Kenny Chesney concert. So it was a wild Saturday in Pittsburgh. And
Did you get to see the big fire?
What big fire? Oh, no. But I heard about it. So have you been down there yet in general?
No.
Okay, there's a vendor.
I just saw there was a big propane tank.
Oh, geez.
Fire.
Oh, no. It was like on the first day or something, right? So we were walking by the one vendor. They had this wonderful setup where they took books and they cut them out. So like the book pages are open and they're letter, like it's a big letter kind of carved out thing. And the vendor's talking to somebody and she's like, yeah, I had this one out here, so I feel like it was my fault. And the book was just said fire on it. So I was just like, oh, so that's how I found out about the fire. So no, actually, Missy was down there giving assistance to our friends at jagoff.com. They're doing their late night Jagoff thing recording down at the Arts Festival. I was still on a plane. I didn't realize that when we were scheduling this thing that I was still booked on a plane at the time. So she went down to help them out with some technology so they get to get that off and running. And it sounds like things went relatively smoothly for an on location as it is. And then we got to walk around on Saturday. So really appreciated that. I had a really big Pittsburgh weekend. I had no work this weekend. It was wonderful, lovely. I won't get this for the rest of the summer probably at this rate. But anyways, so enjoying it while we can. But let's get into our awesome things of the week. Let me start with my important life change. I have been dedicated to one and only one for years and years and years. And no, I'm not talking about my 20th wedding anniversary tomorrow. I'm talking about Google Chrome as my default browser on most of my devices. I keep hearing the hubbub about how Google's deprecating certain things and adding certain things, and this is something I should have done a long time ago, because we all know that Google has been kind of chugging along on Mac hardware for a long time. You probably shouldn't have it. I finally made the jump because I heard that with the new version that I believe comes out Wednesday of this week, that they were going to start disabling the ad blockers in some fashion. So that became kind of the final straw, and Google is becoming a little with me lately with some of the stuff going on, some of their choices they've been doing with AI, for instance. The fact that like all these computers over here that still have Chrome are screaming at me about how there's going to be AI features integrated into everything, and I have some opinions about that. Maybe we can get into later, or maybe on Patreon, because I maybe don't have happy thoughts about that. So as I'm developing this opinion of it, so I went to Firefox, and I think I made a mistake actually. So I went to it, and then I realized certain things don't work on it. Like Adobe Express does not work on it. It is not the default for a lot of things, but that's okay. I do observe the idea that you need multiple browsers for multiple things. I kind of use it. Hey, I'm out of logins. I need to do multiple TikToks. Let's do this one browser and this browser. So I load all of them on my computers no matter what. Chrome will not leave. I will leave Chrome on there for things that need Chrome. Hey, this is a Chrome only feature to go use this or something like that. That's fine with me. But in the meantime, I decided that I need to go away for a little bit. And as of yesterday, I had Firefox on all my machines because I have every browser on. I even have an Opera browser on these. It makes a lot of noises when I accidentally open it. It's really annoying, and wakes up my wife at night when I'm trying to work. But I've been jumping into it, and most of them needed updated. They imported my because I have a very specific bookmark situation with a lot of my workflow. Hey, open all these tabs when I need to post this show. When I need to post this show, here's all my stuff for SAE, things like that, right? So I mean, it's been mostly seamless. Some things get weird, like I don't know if this is the reason that Twitter needs to prove that I'm a human on the Fishing Without Bait account today, and I had to go through about 10 minutes of visual puzzles to prove I was a human, because I was not human enough the first go around. So, but I think it also may have triggered something over on my AwesomeCast account as well for Twitter. Also Twitter, so I'm sure it's not just me. I'm sure it's just Twitter. So that's the kind of stuff I'm dealing with there. But I honestly almost just went Edge, but I was kind of worried because I feel like every time I open it, there's like way too many icons around the outside that I don't want anything to do with. I don't mind Edge as the default. Like I'm at that point where we have like a computer graphic, our graphics computers, or this vMix computer and stuff like that. Which is a fresh install, by the way. So, we are running on a super fresh install new hard drive computer right now for the stream and the vMix. But I think Edge is fine for the most part, and is okay, and runs on, I believe, the same WebKit engine relatively as Chrome. I believe Firefox is a different engine. That's why I'm kind of running into a couple of headaches, I think, a little bit from what I'm used to about how certain websites do behave. But that shouldn't be too much of a problem for very long as I get used to the ins and outs of that. So now I'm curious, what are you guys currently using? And have you run into anything with this? Chilla, off camera, you just had a dramatic zoom in, so I'm sure you have something to say.
So it's funny because when you were talking about coming off my first question was going to be, well, what about Edge? At least it's cross-platform.
Mm-hmm. I even have it on my Macs.
Yep. And I'm a fan of Edge overall. I have to use it for work.
It doesn't suck. It doesn't suck. That's my review.
Doesn't suck, and it's based. To your point, it's based on Chromium, which is their rendering engine.
Yeah.
Mozilla is actually based on Gecko, so they have their own rendering engine, and I'm going to be probably the odd one out here. I really enjoy Safari.
Whoa!
So I'm a huge Safari fan. My primary driver, non-work computer, is a Mac. I am a heavy iPhone, iPad
Mm-hmm.
person. Based on the fact for how long it was the default browser on those OSs, and I synced all my bookmarks, and I have everything. I'm used to using the features where, hey, I, was browsing this website on this device, and now I pick up this other device, and I can just open up the tab right from within the browser, without having to load other browsers. I'm a odd fan of Safari. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. Wait, don't
But-
apologize for it.
And I
Hey,
removed.
no,
I actually went to the depths of removing Firefox. So I used to be Firefox. I've never been a heavy Chrome person.
Mhm.
I used to be heavy Firefox, and then I got so entrenched in Safari. I just moved there, and I like it.
Mhm.
And
Well-
Safari is also based on Chromium, I think, right?
No, they use WebKit.
They use WebKit. Okay.
But
So they're
WebKit,
still on the old WebKit.
WebKit is the core base of Chromium, isn't it?
It's a little split off. I
Okay.
thought they're related. They're a lot more related than the Gecko engine. And Apple does, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think they contribute to the Chromium base browser, but it's a little iOS, especially the iOS part. Desktop, I don't know. I'm assuming it's all the same since Apple's trying to make all the base OSs kind of similar.
It's
But
interesting because there's a Reddit argument on
of course,
Chromium is faster, but Chromium or for Chrome is faster, but Safari's WebKit is more power efficient.
oh, it is. No, it definitely is. Yeah, if you install Chrome on a Mac, it'll just use up resources. If you have a fan, it'll kick your fan on.
It'll do that on any device, but
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, but especially when you compare it to Safari, which was as an Apple thing, since they can talk to the hardware a lot better, it doesn't use hardly any power compared to Chrome. The thing is, I for work use Chrome as my main browser. I use Firefox as a backup, and for another couple of things that we have to do, I use Firefox. But I also have Edge installed because I think you kind of have to with the Windows machine. And I can't uninstall and install things on my own without administrator privileges. But yeah, Edge is not bad. The thing is that I installed Chrome, I don't want to say back in the day, but back in the day with the Chrome login. So I don't have to remember logins. I just stay logged into Chrome, which maybe isn't the most safest thing in the world, but that makes it a little bit easier.
And that's what makes things a little bit easier is I do, and I feel like I'm about to get judged. I do still use LastPass. Just because I never made the move because I'm so entrenched in it, and that just felt like a big pain in the butt. And also, I kind of have a belief that if there was a major crack in, or major hack in a certain service, that the service will become safer because of it. So it's like, well, the damage is done. Why should I move for this other guy that's going to get hacked next, right? I know everybody's like BitLocker, Bitwarden, something like that now, but I just I'm here. LastPass is my home. So now for me, it's been Chrome for the most part. Even I had the Chrome replacement on my phone. I think I deleted the app because I'm like, no, I'm just gonna bump this off. I'm like, why do these other ones? And I don't even want to put the Firefox on here, or anything like that. Like just stay native on it because it doesn't matter because it's the same browser practically anyways. But I do so I have the work browser, and then this is the one that's going to have my personal YouTube account that I can pull up videos to watch during the day, like my office hours and This Week in Tech and everything while I'm working. So Safari has been that for that. And of course, if there's any issues, again, I have every browser on there in case I need to log into like a Twitter account because I don't have TweetDeck anymore. Thanks, Elon. If I need to log in and deal with multiple Twitter accounts at a time for some reason, that's been part of that process too. Or TikTok doesn't work on certain browsers randomly the last couple of days. Okay. So that's kind of stuff that I'm dealing with. So, yeah, go ahead.
One thing that I found useful, and there were a couple things I had to use Chrome for, and it was because of things that I needed to do required Chrome.
Right.
But then I actually needed to use different accounts. And I will say I do like Chrome's like user management type thing.
Yes.
Like I probably have 8. I have 8 profiles in my Chrome browser, which I find comes in super handy. Because like sometimes I have to go into Christopher's school account, or sometimes I need to go into his Gmail account, or I need my Gmail. Like I find that is the one thing I really like for Chrome, is like having the different profiles. That just seems to work extremely well.
That's same thing for us with I don't use the multiple for like the work accounts that we have, Psychic, Sorgatron Media, and my personal, but we do Missy and I sometimes have to pop into each other's email, so that helps with that too. So that's one thing. I mean, again, it's not going to go away. So if it is something where I need to hop over there, it's going to still be there with those activated, I would imagine. So I'm just not going to be actively day-to-day using it. So it's been interesting the last 2 days. It's just like the biggest annoyance is, I thought I logged into this. Oh, that was on this computer, not my laptop, things like that. Sitting down for this show, I had to log into just about everything that I have to deal with to get this show off the ground. So it's been an interesting thing. It's been an interesting life change. I'm sure I will butt my head with something sooner or later. I know I can't use things like Zencaster that we use for some of our client podcasts because I tell people this is not compatible. You got to use Edge or Chrome, kind of situation. So that's I mean, that's fine. I'm going to run into those, but you run into those with about everything. I think it's time to move off. It's time for the new. I'm not going to do anything crazy like go to the Brave browser or anything like that. I'm not going to DuckDuckGo this thing, but I am going to step away from a little bit. I'm going to take a dip away from the Google ecosystem a little bit. I'm still using Google for my search, and I'm using Gmail, and I'm using their G Suites and everything like that. We pay for that every month. So, I mean, Google services I think are fine.
You need to try Pale Moon.
What's that?
Or Basilisk. Or Chameleon? They use a different engine.
Are these alternate ones that are in your in that thing you just sent?
I posted. So it was interesting, right? Like, so WebKit, Safari, all browsers, and iOS, GNOME Web, and Conqueror. But Blink, which is Chromium, is Edge, Brave, Vivaldi, Samsung Internet, and Opera. So it's just Chrome under the covers.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of skins. There's a lot of skins with that. I mean, it is free source, and is everything that Chrome is putting on top of things that becomes a problem. Sorry, I just updated Zoom so on this so I could get your link out. But yeah, no, I think it's just where I'm at with things. So, all right, moving on from my browser woes to your awesome things of the week for you guys. And I do think it's awesome because it is like you do have a choice. You do have, hey, I don't like what they're doing over here. I can go somewhere else. I say on the wrestling program, if you don't like what WWE's doing with the UFC stuff, change the channel. There's another great show on the other channel. And that's kind of how I feel about a lot of software options. Hey, you don't like Facebook? Well, sorry. Okay, maybe that's not the right thing. Well, hey, there's Twitter. Oh, God. Oh, hey, there's Blue Sky. Chilla, let's go with you next. What do you got for your awesome thing of the week?
So this game I've been kind of following, and it recently released. I think it released over the Memorial Day weekend.
Okay.
It is called Hypercharge Unboxed.
Okay.
If you like toy stores, or remember, our favorites like KB Toys or Toys R Us or any of those types of places, this could be a fun game for you. You can play in first or third person shooter mode. The thing that I really liked about this game is it actually has not only co-op online, but it has co-op local split screen.
Okay.
There's also a story mode to it. Comes in around $30 depending on what you're buying it on. It is available today on Xbox and Steam. I did see something where they were trying to get some interest in, I think, going to PlayStation. I don't think it's there yet. The one thing that I thought was interesting, though, not only about the game, because the graphics look awesome. It's been getting really good reviews, but the person that made the game, and I put a link to his is it what is a tweet now? Is it an X?
I don't care. It's a tweet.
Okay. This guy's tweet, he actually left school at 15. No grades or confidence, and he devoted 14 years to his family's painting and decorating business. And then in 2020, he decided, hey, I'm going to stop this and I'm going to go design and market video games. And now in 2024, his action figure game has launched on Xbox and is doing extremely well. So very cool for him. But like when you look at this game, to me, like the graphics look phenomenal. The fact that you can do local multiplayer, I think, is huge. And just the concept of being able to break out of the box in the toy store and go to town, like it's just super cool looking.
That's awesome. It looks really, really cool. So go check that out. That is I lost the thing. Hypercharge it's got cross-platform support in this latest update. Hypercharge Unboxed, that is, and it is a $24.99 game, and there is a demo you can download on the PC as well. So that's PC, Steam Deck, of course, so you can go check that out over there. You know what I need to do when you talk up games like this? Well, it's probably not a good one to look at. I should probably look up on, and I'm sure I'm not even logged into this, GeForce Now to see if games are available on that, because I think it's a really good option if you don't have like a supercharged thing.
I'll tell you what, like the Steam Deck isn't like some super high-powered piece of equipment, but I've been very impressed with what it can play. I mean, even Spider-Man and the Miles Morales ports from PlayStation play extremely well on that little device. So a lot of these games, I think, anymore it's not like you have to chase the dragon, as I used to call it.
No.
Continuing to upgrade your hardware. I'm trying to find,
well,
because the one thing that I thought Steam always does a really good job of running through like the videos and the screenshots and stuff like that. I was looking for it has full support for Xbox and PlayStation controllers, but I don't see the hardware requirements.
Hey, actually, if you are interested, it is on GeForce Now. So I just saw it in there. So you can if you get that on Steam, you can watch that. You can play that in the cloud. Also on the Epic Game Store, it looks like too. So awesome. So my problem is, Chilla, I will at a drop of a hat, but drop $300 on a graphics card for a video machine, but I will not buy one for myself.
Well, like this one, like this game, 8 gig of RAM.
But you also understand the newest PC that I have to play games on is a first gen i7 with a Fire Pro AMD card in it. So it plays most of the games I have in my Steam collection, but not Street Fighter V. So that's my line. If it's not playing that, it's not going to play the most modern game. So that's where I'm at. I'm still dropping in every once in a while playing the original Walking Dead Telltale series. Okay, that's where I'm at with stuff. I play all my new stuff on Game Pass on my Xbox or logged into GeForce Now, although that happens less because I've now deprecated my Google TV for my Apple TV. So get on that App Store stuff, guys, now that it's opened up in the EU. Anyways.
But but it might be interesting because I'm trying to figure out 4th generation i5. Like I'm looking at the CPU that you need to run this, and you could buy it online for $30.
Yeah.
Which tells me it's old.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, absolutely. A 4th gen. I mean, we're up to like 12th gen or something like that. The box I have for my graphics and replay is like a 9th gen. So like that's where we're at with that. But anyways, not to get too deep in the weeds on that. Potter,
Yes.
What's your awesome thing?
My awesome thing is AI related.
No way. No.
Yes.
No.
And it's
way.
Adobe AI related.
Oh.
So this is part of Lightroom Mobile, and I think Lightroom in general, but I use Lightroom Mobile.
Mhm.
It's only with the paid Lightroom Mobile,
Okay.
which I think is at $5 a month is reasonable for what you get. And it's a generative AI removal tool. So it isn't just a straight eraser tool. It will use AI to, now it's an option. So you can opt out of using the generative AI. And also you have the option of putting bokeh.
Mhm.
And you can do depth control with the bokeh.
Mhm.
So in the actual image itself, you can select how much width you have in terms of your depth, and do you want to put what's in front or in behind in focus. And you can select with the bokeh circle, 5-sided, ring, cat eye, and I think one or two other bokeh effects. So you can select that and do your bokeh. But the eraser tool, it's more, like I said, it's more than just an eraser tool. I don't know if you can bring up something from the Slack channel I posted, a video.
I think I have something from your Facebook in here. Let me one
Okay,
second
it
on
could
that
be
one.
there too. Yeah.
Oh, maybe I didn't. Okay, give me 1 second. But you go ahead and start
Sure.
to describe this.
Sure. So what we did is we happened to take a picture on the road, and I wanted to get rid of some of the street signs. So I tried it out. I figured it would just get rid of the street sign, right? You can see the street sign in the middle of the road there.
There's a turkey in the foreground, by the way.
Yeah, there is a turkey. This is right by the park, but it turned the street sign into a tree.
Mm-hmm.
You notice the it filled in the bottom. It filled in the bush that didn't exist.
I see what it did. It saw the top part of the sign and thought it looked like a tree and filled in the rest. Oh.
Yeah, and it created a trunk. And you can select, like you know, so you can select the brush size.
So,
but all I did was just kind of brush over and say, get rid of that stick and get rid of, and it said, oh, a tree would go here very nicely, and it added a freaking tree.
That's awesome.
Well, it looks like it didn't just add a tree. It looks like it pulled the tree from the background into the foreground. But it had a problem. I lost the thingy thing. It drew like lines through it.
Well, you notice that there's kind of lines behind it. I don't know how much Sorg can
go.
zoom in there.
So wait a minute. So stop there. So there's the sign, and you can see to me, there's a tree trunk behind the sign.
It looks like there's a guard. It looks like there's a guardrail over here too. Yeah, it looks like that. Yeah, it looks like it just lines up with the tree trunk because you have these leaves up here that I'm presuming are hanging down from another tree. And then so it generates it in and says, okay, you see, because it doesn't know there's another tree. It just says, okay, we can just turn this into a tree, and it connects to these leaves up here. And then you had this guardrail or something over here, so it extended that through too. It gets a little gobbledygooky in here, but like you can go in and clean it up.
Yeah.
So I mean, and that's the thing. They were talking about this on Office Hours. Global, and they were like, yeah, you do this, and then hey, but this is a little weird over here, so you just go in with your clone tool, kind of clean it up a little bit, and you're good to go. And they were talking about how it's really impressive how, like, you know, I think in the example they were showing, there was something where there was text on a sign, and they loved how a lot of it looked, but they really wanted to redo the text, so they just went in there and said remove the text, and there was a lot of kind of subtle coloration in the sign because it was like an old kind of wood or marbly kind of thing, and it did fill in like that pattern and created that pattern on the fly. So, and the big news to this also is like it's in Lightroom. So I know Katie was telling me, because she's doing a lot of photo work, of course, with some of our projects lately, and she said that like a lot of times she would send that stuff into Photoshop and have to round trip it to do a lot of that work. A lot of those objects are now in Lightroom. You're saying this, but this is specifically the mobile version of this.
Yeah, I think it's also in the desktop. I just don't use it.
Okay.
Also, the mobile is significantly cheaper. Like I said, you can get the premium features, and that's including the AI presets. So you can say, okay, well, you know, you have all the filters they have there, and you're like, okay, use AI to look at the image and suggest some presets for me.
Okay.
And then you can go off of that then. So it'll look at the image and say, okay, here's what we think would be your best presets. Now, for the removal tool, that does happen in the cloud.
Okay.
That does not happen locally. So
which means your image would go up in the cloud.
Right. But not only that, but it's not instantaneous because it does need to upload, hit its server, and come back down to you. So if you're in a place with bad internet, that could take some time, and it could just, it's not as instantaneous as on device. I mean, I trust it a little bit more being Adobe, in terms of having it uploaded to a cloud and back down.
Right.
Because if Adobe has an inherent leak, there goes their business. It isn't just, I hate to say, it isn't a bunch of small potatoes people who use Adobe, but it's people with a lot of money. And if they get pissed off, that's a lot of money coming out of them.
Yep.
So I trust them a little bit more with the data security of having to upload in the cloud.
Especially as we talked about last week, as there's a lot of services nipping at their heels when we talked about Canva and other groups, like other things like that. So we're even CapCut too a bit, just a lot of image stuff in CapCut now. That we've been exploring. So that's really important. So I think yes, Adobe's a little more expensive, but hopefully that comes with a little bit of security with it as well, and they're not messing around. So,
but like I said, if your Lightroom Mobile works, I have a 2-year-old iPhone. It works fine on it, and it's $5 a month. Or if you do the entire year, you do get a 7-day free trial.
Yep.
And it's $50 for a year, so you basically get 2 months for free if you pay for for a full year.
Is that all through the App Store? Can you do
that
through the App Store? Excellent. So go check that out, Lightroom Mobile with AI. So, hey guys, we want to give a shout out to the people we're pretty sure are not artificial intelligence yet. Our friends at Patreon, patreon.com/AwesomeCast. If you want to support this show, if you like the chatter that's going on here, if you want to suggest a little more of what's going on. Again, we are here live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, so you can join us in the chat room. A lot of times people pop in, including my mother, over on the Facebook page. And, we do have streams going on Twitch and YouTube, if those are more convenient for you. And we do have a little truncated version. I'm right here in the middle of the rectangle on Instagram as well when we go live. And then, of course, those stay up there on most of those platforms, at least for the week. So you can go check out the show, all warts and all, for the live show sometimes. So, and again, we'll get into some of the warts here in a moment. Maybe the end of the show, maybe Patreon, I don't know. But thank you to everybody that does support the show. Our friends of the Coffee Club level at Patreon, Cynthia Klosky and Matt Weller. And back on the $5 level, I just looked again. I don't know how long he's been on there, so apologies for not upgrading you in the announcements there. And at the fan of the show level, Michael Fedor, John DeGore, and Dave Ponner, spouse of Ruth Julia Fair at RuthJuliaFair.com. Words are not working tonight, but thank you, Dave, for joining us tonight. Hello.
Always a joy.
Little a tip of the cap, and let's get into more stuff in the back of the book. Here's something I need in every city. The Verge. I was just scanning The Verge today, and I saw this. Somebody created a Google Map layer to show public restrooms in New York City. This has been, I've gotten stuck with this a couple of times. And you know what the biggest thing is? First of all, they talk about how it highlights the severe lack of infrastructure for people walking around the city. This is definitely a problem for tourists. But also, if the biggest source of a nice, clean bathroom, public libraries will not charge you to go in. So there you go. So if you're wondering about that, but I want it in every city that I visit. I don't know how many times you get stuck with, oh no, where do I go? In a bunch of places, convenience stores and whatever, that just have big signs that say no public restrooms. So that's, and it's even for patrons a lot of times too, right? So especially in New York City, they don't want to mess around. And then the ones you find are gross. But we don't have Pittsburgh potties everywhere, guys. But you know what? It's actually funny because I see the Pittsburgh potty downtown, and over the weekend, and like the Pittsburgh toilet is like that one in the basement with a curtain around it, maybe that a lot of people have in the city. So we have one.
Oh, you wait. Fancy.
You're highfalutin with curtain.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, I think Potter. I don't think you were in the old studio, but Chilla, you remember that they built like sort of an outhouse situation around the toilet, right?
Mhm.
Like they built a stall for it. So
It was like it was like a wooden version of going into a bathroom at Target.
yeah. Not nearly as nice, but yes, thank you. Made that sound a lot better than it actually is. So, but hey, it was good. We had our own bathroom for the studio situation. It just you had only relative privacy. So that's why I don't know, Chill, if you noticed, I was usually playing music pretty loudly when people came in, just in case they needed to use the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
So, but anyway,
It was on the other side,
around the way.
kind of
Around the
around
way. We kind of built a little
Yeah.
wall and everything around it. So it's that kind of thing. Potter,
But no, I do
yes.
like the. I will say I do like the ability to add things like that to Google Maps.
Absolutely.
Stuff that where Google may not see a need or have the money or the resources or the what withal, but there is a need for that.
Mhm.
There is a definite need for that.
Or somebody at their Chelsea office that worked on that one. So,
They have Google has a lot of offices in downtown New York. I never realized it before.
They do. The Chelsea office is amazing. That's where I went to pick up the Google Glass. They had a whole floor dedicated to the Google Glass setup. It was crazy. I'm sure they just rented it for the time being or something. But so I don't have any visuals because this laptop just died and apparently the plug didn't get plugged in all the way. Potter, you have a cautionary tale to tell us.
Yes.
About
Yes.
Twitter's new policy and what it may mean for your workplace if you're using Twitter in your day job.
Yeah.
Is this from experience, or is this just a pre?
Oh no, it is from experience.
Oh
yes.
no, are you?
Yes.
Are you? You're still working from home, aren't you?
No, 3 days a week I am in the office.
Oh, I did just have a call with somebody from the glass cage in your office.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, I of course I'm still in the old part that has not been touched in like 15, 16 years.
There's this nice open office situation at
Clean,
his work,
clean, well lit,
and the one fantastic person I was talking with today. That's why she answered, and I was like, "Oh, you're in a glass cage in the front," because they have the open office and the glass like meeting room things, which are great for acoustics on Zoom calls. But and then everybody I work with is just like in 70s cubicle land. Anyways, other than that problem, great organization. No, regardless. But what was his issue?
And honestly, I'm glad I'm in an area that wasn't touched.
Especially
Especially when I was in a customer service call center before the pandemic hit. We liked the really tall cubicle walls that were felty, that act as a great sound barrier versus the shorter walls that were plastic and I don't want to say glass. I don't know if it was glass or whatever it was.
I'll tell you, I visited a different bank while I was just in New York, and I was very impressed. Like they had little, phone booth makes it sound small. I would say it was like a 3-foot by 4-foot room. I mean, it's bigger than the area I'm in right now. And it looked actually like it was made out of some kind of recycled material, but it was about 3/4 of an inch thick, soft felt foam around the perimeter. And like when you went in there, like there was no vibration. Like it was awesome to carry on a phone call in there.
Anyways, Potter, tell me more about your situation other than the generalness of your cubicle life.
Yes. So what happened is I was on Twitter just taking a little mental break, and I saw Steelers. Yes, and I saw Steelers, as in Pittsburgh Steelers, was trending, and I'm like, oh, was there a trade or something happen, or did someone say something stupid, or who knows what? So I clicked on Steelers on the trending topics, and I just started to scroll, and it was kind of general stuff, nothing urgent. And then all of a sudden, I saw a photo of hardcore pornography. And I quickly scrolled by because A, it is a work computer. This is not a personal computer. This is a work computer. And two, I was in the office. Even though my desk, no one can sneak up behind me. My door to my cubicle's in front of me, so it isn't like someone could stand behind me and just see what I'm doing per se. Not that I'm doing anything wrong, which I'm not. But
it's just one of those whoop.
Yeah.
kind of thing.
So it's kind of like, oh yeah, that's yeah. Don't want to see that right now. So, and I noticed there's a story out that Twitter's actually embracing pornography now. In fact, I saw an article from The Guardian that said 41% of teenagers between 16 and 18 reported seeing pornography on X versus 37 for dedicated adult sites. So kids are going to Twitter, looking up porn terms and seeing pornography.
Okay.
So, and with Twitter and with Twitter now more actively allowing porn, where they allowed it before, but now they're a little bit more active about it. You may want to go up and go to your Twitter timeline. And this is what's so... This was annoying because it took me a while to find this. You go to settings and support.
Hold on, let me do this for you. Okay,
Yeah.
Walk me through this. Geez, hold on. I'm not a human on here, and I can't go anywhere else. hold on. Twitter thinks I'm not a human, and I need to
Beep bop boop.
Hold on, cancel. do. All right, so I'm on the Wrestling Mayhem Show Twitter for the moment.
Okay.
I'm afraid what's going to happen because like most wrestling looks like porn to begin with. Okay, so I'm going to go in here, settings and privacy.
Settings and privacy. And then privacy and safety.
Privacy and safety, about halfway up there. Okay.
Yep.
Now what I'm looking for.
And now click on content you can see.
Content you can see. Okay.
Do search settings. Make sure that you can uncheck that.
What? Uncheck what? Display media
on the upper right. Yep.
Display media that may contain sensitive content. You're going to uncheck that.
You're going to uncheck that because then you'll just see like a block that says this could be sensitive. Do you want to see it? Yes or no?
Yes. And then you click on that search settings at the bottom, and I have hide sensitive content and remove blocked and muted accounts. And
you want both of those checked.
All right, yes,
because
I have been in plenty of airports. Hey, you know what's embarrassing? Being in the sponsor lounge for an event and the same thing happening. So, now
that will, because it is a setting inside of Twitter, it affects everything you do with Twitter.
Yes. You want to do
so you only have to do it once. You only have to do it once.
Okay, so no porn for me.
No. Well, let's put it this way. It will say this is sensitive. Do you want it? This is NSFW or this is sensitive. Do you want to see it? Yes or no?
And I like it gives the option because again, we've always talked about the problem where we follow a lot of professional wrestlers. A lot of our friends are pro wrestlers, so a lot of the problems that I have are I open it up. I just open Instagram in general, and almost invariably the first image is like sexy pose or gym selfie of somebody in their underwear, male or female or whatnot, so that's the kind of thing that always happens. I was like, you're looking at all the guys and or girlies on the Instagram. I was like, no, that's my friend, but that's somebody's looking over your shoulder. You can't really go through that. So it's a whole thing. But still, it and I don't think that would flag something like that, honestly. But yeah, at least like you're not having hardcore pornography. But I kind of need that just for wrestling content too, right?
Yeah.
Because some of it gets pretty vicious.
Oh no. And if you do a search, and I've had it where talking about wrestling content, Asuka, WWE Asuka. Where that's also a name of, I want to make sure I get the term right. I don't know if it's manga or something else in Japan, a character, not related to Asuka. Okay, just happened to share the same name. And I look up and it's Oscar's trending. I'm like, okay, is she injured? Did something happen? It's Tuesday morning. Did something happen on Raw? And I start scrolling. All of a sudden, you see nakedness.
Probably fan art for because apparently this is a character in Neon Evangelion, and which is on Netflix, and that's you're probably gonna get a lot of fan art stuff going on there.
So I mean, it's stuff that I was not actively looking for.
I made the mistake of going down a rabbit hole after I finished the She-Ra series because there was a really good love interest revelation at the end of that came around, and there was a lot of fan art, and some of it got really serious. They're just like, oh, I'm going down a weird rabbit hole right now. So yeah, no, I mean anything anime like that unfortunately gets it turns a corner these days. Yeah, so that's good to know. Yeah, you know,
like, and it's the old, for us old enough to remember, Rule 34. If something exists, there's porn of it. So you could be looking up a particularly safe term, and you know, it not even work related. Let's say you're on Twitter and you have a
Pittsburgh Steelers. You were literally doing Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah,
and then somebody was literally doing Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yes, yeah. Something was Steely there. Yes.
Oh no. Oh, Steely. Yes. Steely's McBeam.
No. Thankfully, no.
Okay.
No. Oh. Make me have to take some Pepto now.
Chilla, how do you deal with an SFW at work?
Or around kids?
Because I've always had like some stuff on Twitter just like pop, like I created groups for tech news and for certain things. And then I try to stay within that group. And I actually try not to use it at work for some of those reasons.
You're just a sensible user. you weirdo.
But I'll tell you what, like sometimes I get the most awkward things even on TikTok. And it's like, I don't want to deal with it at work. Like, and that's something I wish I was more comfortable using at work, because I really enjoy TikTok.
Well, either way, well, good to know. Watch out for that if you're using the Twitter, and always be cautious when you're using social media at work, because I mean, it is can be fraught with peril. So, and I know in certain cases, like there's a lot of Reddits and things like that, and even that can get a little weird too. All right, one last tip here. Just like kind of a shout out here, and I know, Dave, I think you commented that image creation is not a part of this. I mean, you're not going to get everything, but GPT ChatGPT 4.0 for. Oh, I forget what that stood for.
Omicron.
And more tools are going to be free for all users at ChatGPT. This includes getting into the GPT store that has a lot of custom GPTs that you can check out and everything like that. So again, you can you're not generating images or anything like that. You're going to have to pay the $20 a month for that at minimum. But you are going to be able to get the higher end GPT and everything like that. Obviously, if you pay for it, we've had it for about two or 3 weeks, maybe at this point. So we've had a little bit of a up on it. Yeah, and yes, the ChatGPT did have a downage today. And I was about to put this in the Slack today, but I was having trouble in the browser getting in, because I use it to generate hashtags and things like that for some of the work I do for social media videos. And because I'm a video producer, not a hashtag machine, so is the way I justify that one. But still, like I was actually able to open the app on my phone and use it. So I was copying and pasting, and this is like maybe 30 seconds, a minute long, 60-second transcriptions I'm generating from videos in CapCut, and copy and pasting them to my phone, paste in the command that I want for titles and hashtags. And everything worked. It was just an extra step of copy and pasting it to and from my phone, but generally it worked very, very well when the browser was still telling me that the system was down. The system is down. The system is down. Sorry, home runner moment. So maybe that's a tip for if you do experience that in the future, to maybe just try the app and see how that works for you. So that might be an opportunity there. So. But yeah, Chili, have you been working more with the GPTs or anything like that? Has any of it kind of met your day job?
On and off. We are evaluating some of the things from a GPT perspective, more from the Copilot, Microsoft.
Yeah.
Not the native GPTs. Hopefully one day we're adopting some of that stuff. You have to think about it, in the worst case, most nefarious scenario possible, or I'm not going to say it, just worst case scenario possible.
And that's what every company needs to assess it, and the good and the bad of using this technology, right? And
something that I think though that I'm actually pushing for, and I think that is extremely important. As all these vendors talk about responsible AI and how they're, their AI, I think it's as much of the responsibility of the company and the employee. I did read a statistic that someone passed me today, that 80% of employees that don't have access to generative AI will bring their own AI and figure out a way around it. Whether it's, getting help writing a letter, or, maybe a little bit of code, things along that nature, where they're just, pulling out their phone or pulling out their personal laptop or pulling out whatever. I can't tell you how many calls I've actually been on where I'm not, or the company I work for is not hosting the call. And it could be something like this Zoom call, right? Where third party is offering AI, or a bot has joined the call.
And actually, we're using it right now. I have the AI companion with Zoom on this call with you guys. I've been playing with it, turning it on. And of course, it is not turned on for any of the 3 meetings that I had in the last 2 days, which I was trying to figure that part out. But I think I have to do it per meeting or something like that. But it's been, I love what it generates after it. Like, I get a little update of what this show did.
Well, it's interesting because like the whole intelligent recap, or AI companion, or whatever you want to call it, like all of that I think is extremely important, because like I may not be on right away and I can say, hey, catch me up. Now I'm interested, because even this one I just picked randomly, 15 minutes in, and it said that we talked about your recent trip to New York and your experience at the Three Rivers Arts Festival. So it's not 100%, but I think it's something. It's one of those things, right? It's meant to help you, not replace you.
Yeah, it's missing context. So the thing is, I leave this on, and then there's maybe for something like Mayhem Show, maybe we have guests in the studio, and I only have one person on Zoom. So now it looks like, because it tells you your talk time, your kind of monologue time, to see if you're talking too much in the meeting, I suppose. And since A, I'm the host, and B, there's multiple people in the studio, it sees that as one person because that's who's calling in, right? So it's like we're doing a conference call with people in the room kind of thing, but it's not built for that. It's not built for podcasting, but it can be modified for that. So I have not implemented it, but I'm looking at it and what it looks like, and see there's kind of some recommendations for clips and things. And I was like, okay, is this stuff I can pull out for TikTok and YouTube and stuff? Is it good recommendations? What's the quality? How do I match this with a better quality video I might have over here? Because I think Zoom only captures that at 720 still, unless you get in there and make requests and pay enterprise and all this kind of stuff. I know they talk about that on one of the shows that I listen to a lot. So, but anyways, who knows? We'll see. We'll see where it goes with that. So, that makes sense, because I know in your day job, you just for historical, for people that may not know, you work with implementing of new technologies, and that usually that has meant devices, to my knowledge, and things like that. And that's a lot of stuff that you've brought to the show over this decade plus of the AwesomeCast. So it makes complete sense that you're working with GPTs and trying to figure that out too. So I'm glad to see that. Good. You work for a very responsible company from the sounds of things.
Yeah, and it's interesting because we went to, it's the companies, but there were a couple folks that I work with that went to a conference, and it was actually a conference run by, they're not phone providers. It's voice in large enterprise. And I think Amazon was there, and there were a couple of different very large companies with call centers. And think about it, that you need to be responsible, but you also need to think about where you can use this, right? And what they were saying was, from a customer service perspective, the person was able to help, because now you have the transcription of the phone call, right? So you can gain customer sentiment. You have what's going on, so you can actually query your knowledge bases. And then you have the person, trying to help someone. They said that they reduced the call time and resolution time dramatically, but they also put heart monitors and were monitoring people's heart rates that were on the service side. And they said it reduced it by so many beats per minute, because it takes some of that stress off the person, especially if someone's calling irate.
Yeah, which is most of them.
You can help them faster. And
Yeah.
they were shown hey, say this to try to attempt and calm this person down. So I don't know. I think there's definitely a time and a place for it too. I'm not writing it off. I just think, just like anything, people need to get used to it, and we need to learn more about it, and then help people, just like what we used to do, right? How many coffee talks did we give, helping people how to do social media?
Yep. There's a reason I don't do those anymore.
We need AI. They need AI camp instead of PodCamp.
Well, I mean, and Katie has been doing that. She's been teaching Facebook to older people trying to get on there. So that's still something that happens. It's still something that needs to happen for some people. Some people still not been on this, and they have to get in touch. So, Sheila, thank you so much. Love your insight.
Thanks
Love to have you back on here. I think we have a June without Dutters this month, doing the schedule conflicts. So I'm interested to see how we're going to do that. So I hope you're sticking around here for a couple weeks here, and happy awesome versary of such. So I think it might be on the 10th or something we started the show. So it's something like that. Maybe we'll have a celebration. No, we're not going to have a celebration next week. So programming note of sorts, we're going to still have the show. This is a development that happened in the last 24 hours. The show will probably be emanating from a hotel room in Michigan once again, because we had to add a day and a travel day to something. So the show will happen. The show will look different, especially as I just got this computer working again. I'll talk about that on Patreon and maybe a few other things as well. Thank you, Chiller, for joining us as well. At Chilla and at Chilla579 on most social medias, even some of those newer ones.
Thank you very much.
And also Dave Potter of the iPhoneography podcast. I think I saw you recording with your cat the other night.
Yes. Last night, we were in the middle of a podcast, and that one starts at 9:00. So it was apparently sleepy time, and she decided to get on the computer and then get on me. And I was and I had my arm out, and she was taking a little nap on my shoulder.
There you go. So, excellent. And of course, I'm at Sorgatron. I will be. I am going to Bethlehem, Pennsylvania this weekend to the Wind Creek Casino to do an MMA show. I haven't done one of those in several months. I think not April. Yeah, maybe it was April was the last one I did. No, it was not. I don't know when's, maybe March? Who knows? February? I don't know when's the last time I did MMA. We'll figure it out. I haven't been with these guys since December. So Maverick MMA, they're of course on Spectation Sports. Love that group. Always great when I get a chance to work with both of the promotion and the streaming provider with Spectation Sports. They got a lot of cool stuff. They're the ones that do the online gambling. I don't know if we're allowed to do that in Pennsylvania yet, but that's something that they're doing. Are we allowed? Are we allowed? I don't know if we're allowed.
We are allowed. Yeah.
Are we allowed to do that kind of gambling? Was the question.
You mean sports?
So the idea is the gambling is integrated into the streaming service, and I think there was still. Last I knew, as of December, we were still looking for clearance to do that. So
Okay, that I don't know
I know
that yet.
there's like some odds and some games and things like that. So, but you know, they do some sweepstakes or something in the meantime, like those DraftKings things or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
But no, it's a good group. I know I'm going to chat with them here on Thursday, and we'll be out there. And if you like MMA, well, I'm going to recommend Maverick MMA. Go follow them, but no, not that fake account trying to sell you the wrong stream. That's not on expectation on Facebook, because I kept going to that by. I'm like, where's all the information for the show? I'm like, this is not a good one. We'll be on Patreon again. I'm going to tell you how we resurrected my computer and some other issues I've been doing with computer builds this week. Yes, I'm going old school for me in building and putting together and graphics carding some computers. So we'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much. You've been our awesome audience. Have an awesome week. This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at Sorgatron.